Hi, my name is Matt Dowling, M-A-T-T-D-O-W-L-I-N-G. I'm a law student at Lewis and Clark College in Southwest Portland. Thank you for the opportunity to share our concerns today. Lewis and Clark is an institution committed to helping create a more sustainable, more livable community in the world. We know these values are shared by TRIMET and by the Portland community as a whole. That commitment is our primary motivation for appearing today to address TRIMET's proposed cutbacks. We sympathize with TRIMET's effort to deal with the budget shortfall brought on by the weak economy. Lewis and Clark is also dealing with the effects of the recession. We feel that service cutbacks should be undertaken only as a measure of absolute last resort. Are all the cutbacks absolutely necessary? We're not convinced that they are. We worry that in some cases they could have unintended and unfortunate consequences. They would put more cars on the road, and they can make it next to impossible for Portland residents, workers, and volunteers to get where they need to go. These consequences could inhibit our economic recovery, and they could lead the Portland area away from the green lifestyle that's so prized here. Let's look at Lewis and Clark as one example. Between our undergraduate, law school, and graduate school, Lewis and Clark students contribute over 140,000 hours of community service a year. Without reliable, convenient, and fast transportation, our students will not be able to get from campus to their offices, clinics, schools, and other venues where they do their valuable service. The same situation applies to internships, which are an important part of our education. These aren't issues of concern just for Lewis and Clark students, but to all the Portland people and institutions that rely on what we provide. Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, my name is Akeem Ballard, A-U-K-E-E-M, Ballard, B-A-L-L-A-R-D. I'm an undergraduate student at Lewis and Clark College, and I would also like to thank you all for coming today so we can work together to create new solutions. Let me to pick up where Matt left off. Our Vice President, Carl Vance, recently published an opinion piece on the Oregonian website in which he addressed the proposed TRIMET cuts in the context of the current economic situation. As Mr. Vance argued in that opinion piece, now certainly is not the time for business as usual. As we have realized, retreating and retrenching are not the solution to the economic challenges we all face on a day-to-day basis. All of us in the Portland community must exercise new resourcefulness and flexibility. We together must show a new willingness to work together toward creative new solutions. Our recent experience persuades us that unfortunately TRIMET has not been willing to think outside the box. As the saying goes, Lewis and Clark is offering TRIMET a proposal to send thousands of new writers and hundreds of thousands of new dollars into the system in exchange for a direct line between our campus and downtown, like was touched on a little bit earlier. By TRIMET's own calculations, the proposal would be a net gain for TRIMET's revenues. Yet TRIMET has refused, citing policies that might have made sense in the past, but that have clearly outlived their usefulness. We invite TRIMET to join us in thinking in new, creative, sustainable, and civic-minded ways to avoid unnecessary service cutbacks and to look for new partnerships and opportunities to revitalize our public transportation system. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And if I may very briefly add, I would invite all of the members on the TRIMET board to look to the ridership data on March 18th, the day that Lewis and Clark students initiated a Ride Public Transportation Day, to demonstrate our commitment to having students available and able to ride TRIMET on a regular basis. I'd invite you to consider those numbers against the typical ridership data that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, speaker 4, is Carl Vance.
I'm Carl Vance. It's Carl with a C, Vance, V as in victory, A-N-C-E. And I'm the Vice President for Business and Finance at Lewis and Clark College. And I'm here to also speak in support of the 39. We have been in discussion with TRIMET for a couple of years, trying to find a solution that would allow greater public bus service to Lewis and Clark. We think it's vital to our students to be connected to Portland, and we have been concerned about the limited service that has been provided by TRIMET in the past. Our efforts have been continuing dialogue, but have not been able to reach a successful conclusion. Successful in the way that we find successful, that is, increased ridership. We have offered TRIMET $250,000 which we currently spend for the Pioneer shuttle to expand bus service to line 39, if we could have that direct link downtown. We think that there are ways to make this work, ways that can increase service and provide greater revenue to TriMet. And we hope that in light of this current economic crisis, that we can have another opportunity to have that conversation. The residents support this, the students support this. We have over 3,000 people come to campus every day, and we would be willing to buy bus passes for every faculty, staff, and student member. That's 3,000 bus passes we would be able to buy if TriMet would provide a discount for college students. We heard before that TriMet offers discounts to students. They do not offer discounts to college students. They offer discounts to elementary and to high school students, but there are no discounts offered to college students. We think it's critical to get our students riding public transportation. They want it, we want it, the college will support it. Please work with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 5 is Susan Egnor, E-G-N-O-R. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly.
You did.
Thank
As you said, my name is Susan Egnor, and he's already spelled it, so I'm into it. I first wanted to thank TriMet very much for setting up the open houses, the public hearings, and reaching out to the community with both its position and with an openness to hearing what the community has to say at this stage of affairs. I wanted to say that I personally have no complaints about TriMet service. I live just off Barber Boulevard, right below the hospitals. There are half a dozen buses that run down Barber that I can take to go most of the places I want to go most of the time. I'm here talking about people who are not in that situation. So rather than speaking to a proposal regarding any particular route, I want to express my concern about some of the criteria used in making the proposed cuts. The other day I was working on Metro's high-capacity transit planning tool, a challenge if there ever was one. But I noticed one of the criteria taken into account there, namely, was that there should be emphasis on serving those who have no other alternative means of transport. Although basing a decision, such as service cutbacks, on a business criterion, such as potential ridership, may make sense from a commercial viewpoint, using that criterion when it cuts off service to those for whom such services, people such as seniors who can no longer drive, seems misguided. Last fall, I heard a TriMet presentation in connection with a city-sponsored session on transportation planning. The TriMet representative boasted of the tremendous increases in ridership in the previous quarter as people struggled with high gas prices. We've read anecdotally in the newspaper people saying, I didn't know it was so easy to take the bus, and I'm going to leave my car in the garage. TriMet was helping us as a community with a number of larger social, whatever you want to call them, goals, decreased air pollution, increased energy efficiency, that kind of thing. TriMet has the benefit of a tax to support its service because it is a public service. Decreasing an essential public service when times are tough, as I said earlier, is misguided. I would like to see TriMet refocus its decision-making to include consideration of its part in public policy issues such as decreased automobile emissions,